Good evening, Power Pals. How is everybody doing? I hope you've had a good week so far and you've done loads of exciting things. So I've been doing quite a bit of research since you last spoke to me, which I think was on Sunday. Good evening, everybody that's joining the live. So I was asked to research quite a few things. One of them being a Barghest from folklore, Scottish folklore, I believe it is. So I did a bit of research on that, and it's pretty much like a dog, like kind of like a greyhound, but with real long hair. And these were like messengers of death. They would come when somebody was dying, basically. So yeah, it's a messenger of death. They'd hear this dog barking, and they'd see this dog. And this is something what stems from Scotland. I've heard similar stories. Also heard of a fictional kind of character like this, which was in the Hound of the Baskervilles by Sherlock Holmes. But yeah, it was a pretty cool read. Researching it and looking it up. So if anyone has any more folklore kind of animals that you would want me to research, just let me know and I'll have a look. I always enjoy looking for new kind of cryptids and things. So yeah, it was pretty cool. The other thing people are asking me to look for, or read up on, was the Scole experiments. So the Scole experiments went on for over, I think, 5 years. It went on for quite a long time, and it involved a group of mediums and kind of scientific people in a group in a basement in the village of Scoles, where they was doing some research on these mediums, and these mediums were kind of going into like a trance. I don't know if has anybody heard of the Scole experiments? Just let me swap the chat over. I don't know if you've heard of the Scole experiments, but they are, again, another thing that I was looking into. We may have to attempt something very similar when we finish the Annabelle project. But the Annabelle project is going on for another 11 months. So it's something for us to think about, but certainly very interesting. It's where these alleged mediums. Mike, good evening. How are you doing? These alleged mediums were in obviously somebody's basement in this house, and I didn't realize Scole was actually in the UK, but it is. Good evening, Rachel. How are you doing? Yeah, so the Scoles experiment, when they was in the basement, these mediums or alleged mediums were going into trance, and they were manifesting things out of thin air. I've looked and looked for footage. I've got bits of grainy footage. It's still somebody like me. I need concrete evidence. But all these scientific kind of people that were witnessing the experiment going on said things were manifesting and then disappearing again. I think they had like coins and trinkets and things like that just appearing, and I think there were pebbles at some point as well. And they also had undeveloped photograph film where it hasn't even been used, and they left it there on the table. And when they went to develop it, there was images on that. It's really, really interesting. Rachel is saying, I'm good, thanks. Just watching something on Sky History Channel called The Real Conjuring. All right. I may have heard about that. But if there's any kind of link, send me. I always like to look at stuff like that. Gaz, good evening. How are you doing, sir? So yeah, those bits of information, what people are asking me to research, it was the Barghest, like it was in folklore, is a Scottish kind of messenger of death, if you like. If somebody was on the deathbed, or somebody, should I say, that was in money. Somebody who was kind of posh and had a lot of money. When they were dying, they would see this dog, like a greyhound, but with real long hair. All good, thanks. A little flustered. Got a small up tomorrow. Hope you're good, mate. All right. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I hope that all goes well for you, Gaz. Hope it's nothing too serious. Rachel said the Perrin family. It's a 2-part program. Yeah, I do actually know about it. It's not like the actual film Conjuring, but I've actually got it on DVD. The film. If I find it anywhere for you, I'll watch it. I'll let you know. Yeah, I have actually seen it though, Richard. It's really interesting. The movies, The Conjuring, have made it out to be a lot more than what it actually is. Just having a benign lump removed from chest. All right, okay. I hope that all goes well for you. Just to let you know, Gaz, in 2012, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Obviously, like a blood cancer, but it affects the lymph nodes and other parts of your body, internal organs. I was given, I think it was between 2 to 6 weeks to live. And they put me straight away after taking a biopsy onto chemo. And a year later, I was all clear. I had the all clear, and I'm still here now. Touch wood, thank God, and everything. So yeah, do not worry about it. If you need anybody to talk to, I can speak to you about stuff like that. Cannot cond. Rachel, have you had a glass of wine? I can't understand your typing. Jack, how are you doing, Jack? Rachel saying they said the film was only about 5% accurate. Yeah. It's the actual story is a lot better. The real story. Wow, good for you. Cheers, man. Yeah, no problem, Gaz. I've spoke to a lot of people that have had cancer because I've been through it myself. I've been through chemo, bone marrow, extraction, and everything. I've had everything. Yeah, so I think we can all wish Gaz the best of luck for that for tomorrow, but he'll be fine, absolutely fine. You've got all us parapals behind you. Mike is saying, good luck, Gaz. Sounds like it should be a simple procedure. Wishing you all the best. Not enjoying the idea of being put under now. It's exactly the same. I had that fear of like, oh, what if they give me too much and I don't wake up? Don't think like that. As soon as you get the what's it called? That injection, what kind of starts knocking you out, it makes you feel you don't give a crap about anything. Jack is saying, I'm okay, Matt. How about you? Yeah, absolutely brilliant, Jack. I've spent most of the afternoon editing the first series of the Annabelle project, which will hopefully be released by the end of the week. Hopefully, I say. We was only there like filming for 2 hours, but that's 2 hours worth of 4K footage, and they are massive files to get through, to download, to edit. 4K is massive. You do not like not being in control. Yeah, exactly. That's the word I was looking for, Mike. Pre-med. When you get your pre-med, and they will give you it, you just won't care after that. You'll be away with the fairies. That's before you're asleep as well. That'll calm you down. It did me anyway. You're good to hear from me. Oh, it's good to hear from me. No worries, Jack. I'm glad you're okay. Oh, good. Never met any fairies. Yeah, apparently when they did it to me, I was talking to everybody. I don't even remember a thing. I was talking all kinds of things, paranormal apparently. And it was the same when they was bringing me back round because you're off your boobs, shall I say? Is that the correct word? So you don't even know what you're talking about when you're coming back round, to be honest. But I know it's easy enough for me to say, don't worry about it, but don't worry about it. I have actually been there, and I know what you're going through. Rachel is saying, am I allowed to put it on YouTube, Mark? Only asking, as didn't know if the network wanted exclusive or not. Well, Rachel, I was thinking about putting it on for the people that have joined the channel, you know, the subscribers. There is a button somewhere what says join. I can't see it on my screen. I was making it so those people could see it. Or that's what I was thinking about doing. Yeah, it'd be a shame not to let anybody see it apart from the network, but we'll have to have a talk about it, I think. It's like having a bottle of champagne. Yeah, only better. Only better. What was I talking about? The Scholes experiment. So yeah, it was. I think it was Babs. I'd seen something years ago about it, but obviously I'd forgotten about it. Hi Lisa, how are you doing? So I checked it out, and I thought, wow, that's interesting. That is another experiment PSI can be doing, because of some of you may or may not know. I was brought up going through mediumship and spiritualist churches, and I can actually do trance mediumship, although we don't use it on PSI because we are evidence-based, which is kind of weird. So we may look at doing this Scholes experiment at some point again in the future. Where is everybody tonight? Somebody else must be live. That's why there's only a few people in tonight. Has anybody else looked into the Scole experiment? Stella, hello, how are you doing? So yeah, if you research it on YouTube, you'll see some of the footage, but like I say, some of the footage isn't very good. It's very grainy. Oh, okay, Bedo's Gaming, he'll have a lot of because obviously a lot of people that come on here are on his as well, so I'll have to start singing. No, it's cool. This live gets played back and everybody just watches it anyway whenever they get a chance. I won't sing, but I've got all my guitars lined up here. I can play you a bad tune. It was very interesting to see things just falling out of the air, you know, like pebbles or rings and things. And I thought, if we can replicate that, that'd be a cool thing to do. Something we haven't done as well, Rachel. No, you're all right. You don't want to hear any of my bad guitar playing. Okay. You know the PSI method that we do on a Sunday? The ones on, there's some on TikTok, what we did, what wasn't on YouTube. I'm going to start downloading them. We need a file for those on YouTube, because I believe the more we're doing the PSI method, it's opening us up to that kind of level where we're able to communicate with other energy. And for those of you that haven't seen it, you should watch it on a Sunday. It's just an idea. I was looking at, did I receive your long email, Stella? I received it, the email I received may have been off Mike, what I saw. And it was about 3 blocks of flat and a haunting in the flats, and the flat getting knocked down. I think that was Mike. But I haven't seen, I don't think I've seen something. Let me just quickly look. Oh, it was Gaz. Sorry, it was Gaz. I knew it was somebody. It was either Mike or Gaz. Gaz, wasn't that really interesting, that story, what you put up there? What a shame that building's gone. I know not for you, because obviously it's bad memories, and bad memories for the people, but that would be the sort of location that we would love to investigate. You sent it to the Gmail. I have problems with the Gmail. It was interesting to live through. Gaz. No, yours was from the haunted hospital you work in, Mike. Yeah, yeah. Did I reply to you, Mike, as well? I know I've replied to Gaz, and I'm sure I replied to Mike. If Mike's Hi, Sarah G. How are you? How are you doing? You haven't seen a reply yet. Was that also to the Gmail account? So you guys will have a copy of the sent email that you sent to me. If I haven't received it in the Gmail, I'm putting up my other email, my personal email on here, so if you can resend it to that. I do have a lot of problems with the Gmail for some reason on my phone and things, but I will look at it. And I did have a look at it, and I couldn't see it. Oh, I've done that. I put the wrong email address. tlindsay at hotmail.co.uk. It's a Hotmail. I've had it for years. It just straight through, because I use a lot of Microsoft products. I use Hotmail mainly. I replied to you, Gaz. Yeah, I knew I'd replied to Gaz. Wouldn't it be cool if you had some kind of footage to go with that, Gaz? So that was a really, really cool story. And that's what I said in the email. I love stories like that. I love hearing about it. I know it's not pleasant for you because you lived through it, but that sort of thing, that's the genuine stuff that there. Pin. So I've pinned my email at the top of the chat. If you can see it, if anybody needs it to re-email me something. It was unfortunately, it was just before mobile phones came out. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, we've only got obviously your experiences and other people's experiences, what happened in there. Yeah, really, really interesting story. Well, Stella's story was about her son, about your experiences. Sorry. I'll try and get it again on my phone. Hang on a second. Has anybody seen the video that I put up about the REM pod and how people are faking responses on the REM pods? Camcorders weren't widely available at decent price either. Would have been cool to film it. Yeah, yeah, definitely, guys. Yup, yes. So did you think that was interesting? I mean, we have known about the REM pods for years because we build REM pods. We know what affects REM pods. Because like I said in the video, all the circuitry is not shielded. And any outside interference is going to trigger the REM pod off. So I have got some more videos coming about other paranormal equipment. Another one about the REM pod, actually, because the REM pod was not actually designed for paranormal research. You're probably not surprised to hear that it's actually a musical instrument. Interesting, but a bit disappointed a little. Yeah, but the thing is, I know because a lot of people do get responses, and sometimes people say, "Well, I ain't got any equipment on me, so why is just that going off?" You got to remember, there's radio waves everywhere, different kind of frequencies going about, microwaves, radar, satellite, just bouncing about the planet all over the place, and anything like that can trigger a REM pod if it's strong enough. I can see why you are disappointed. To be fair, we've actually got a REM pod in our equipment. We do get it out on occasion. Outside as well. Does that mean outside as well? Yeah, I mean, anything can interfere with it. as well as like you probably your radio stations. If you're close to a radio station, that could probably trigger it as well. Is there anything scientific to indicate spirits affect EMF, etc.? I suppose we've only got theories when you ask questions like that. They say that spirit energy is obviously made up of energy, and it's on the magnetic spectrum when something manifests. Electromagnetic spectrum. Um, these type of energies feed off kind of electrical objects and batteries as well. If you notice that, you get battery drains. But all we can do is speculate, isn't it? Any kind of energy gives off some sort of radiation, surely, which is going to be on the EM spectrum. What about in the middle of the woods? Again, you've got radio signals bouncing all over. It's hard to prove or disprove, isn't it? When if you're in the middle of the woods, you've got an EMF meter. Sorry, not an EMF. Well, could be an EMF or a REM pod stuck on the floor or on a tree branch, and you're miles from anywhere, and it's going off. It could be outside interference. You've got to look at what it could be before you go down the road of unexplainable sort of things. Underground, definitely, yeah. Pipes, yourself, some pipes have earth wires connected to them. They can give off static charge. You've got cables. What else do you have underground? You have a few different things. Even running water can create its own type of little energy field, I suppose. The whole planet is covered with magnetic fields. It certainly is, Mike. You've got your ley lines as well. You've got to remember where you are. If you're going anywhere, try and get hold of a ley line map. Ley lines generally are close by to a church. And there's a reason for that. Churches go up the country and they kind of line up with each other, if you haven't noticed it on a map. And there's always ley lines, magnetic lines running through the churches. And this is because this was back in the day before transport, or even people that couldn't afford a horse or a donkey, would walk to church, and they're creating this energy just by walking up and down thousands of times over hundreds of years, and it creates this type of thing. But I mean, then you've also got the Earth's plates, what can move about and create that type of energy. There's all sorts to take into consideration. I'm waffling on a bit. Jack says, I've been watching My Haunted Hotel. It's okay, and it's Ye Old King's Head, Chester. Goes back to 1622 and before the alleged brothel as well, which is now the function room, Matt. Is it? That's good to know, Jack. Obviously, we're going to be filming for My Haunted Hotel, but we're also going to have our own setup with us as well. Have I heard autistic people can see spirit? I certainly have. I don't doubt that either. I do believe that. Same with children. Children are very open to that. I think it's as we start to get older and go to school, college, and we just start getting educated, they don't teach us things like that, do they, to see these types of energy? And yeah, I do believe that some autistic people may have functioning parts of the brain what we don't. Your son is autistic, right? Yeah, I used to be the PA for Jack, who's on here on the chat now. I mean, Jack won't mind me saying he has Asperger's. Yeah, my stepson saw our ghost in the flat. We never did. All right, okay. What did it look like, Gaz? Did he tell you? What did that spirit look like? Pocket watch, good day. Take it you're in Australia. He was 4 at the time. Your son has Asperger's as well. Yeah. The thing what most people with Asperger's have in common, Stella, is They kind of have the ability to remember a lot of things. They've got a very good memory. They can like memorize things from years ago and remember it further on. And they're normally a particular subject or something that they're really, really good in. Like they've got like a photographic memory. Like with Jack, when I took Jack out, we went to like haunted locations, and he would be reading the brochure to the history to the place, like York Dungeons or something, and he could read that back to me word for word, maybe 3 years later. I'm not kidding. No, no. So yeah, I mean, I have worked with that. Yeah, yep. An Aussie, good day. Jack is saying, as you know, I've got Asperger's syndrome. I do pick up and seance things as well, even still. And yes, Mark, yes, I have. Right. Gaz wishes he had a photographic memory, but if I did, mine would be missing the memory card. Yeah, I'm a bit like that as I'm getting older. I was a lot better in my younger days if I wasn't partying or going to nightclubs. I was really good at things like that. But nowadays, you just some things you start forgetting. But I think once you just kind of like with the paranormal, if something slips my mind, I just do a bit of research, it's straight back there. You have MS, which affects your memory, right? Cool, right? Okay. The thing is, I'm trying to think if I know anybody with MS. I'm not. I can't remember. Oh, I do actually. Yes. There's somebody with MS that wanted to join Masonic Lodge, and it obviously they never used to let. They had this thing where they had to be of sound body and mind. Where they never used to let autistic people in. But all that's changed now. So I do know somebody who's a Freemason who has MS. Um, I think he had something else as well. Can't remember what that was. That's how bad my memory's getting. Rainbow Indigo children as well, right? Your son has MS, Lisa. Still has got a menopause brain. Yeah, my partner Tina has got that as well. It's no, it's not fun. But you've got people around you, and friends here that that can talk to you about that if people need to talk about anything. You're never alone. And just because we're a paranormal channel doesn't mean that we're not trained up on other things, because we are. It's not alcohol. The brain can be altered by accident. Yeah, you mean if somebody has an accident and they bang the head? Right. Yeah, yeah. I have actually seen that. My friend who's now passed away, David, he was called. His twin brother is Peter Beacock, who comes on here sometimes. We was all brought up with martial arts. We can all do Wado karate, as I know a few of you watching probably can. So we was always kind of, I mean, we was old school where the rules when you were doing martial arts were a bit loose, and you could hit people in places what you can't nowadays. And they were just sparring, David, my friend, and somebody else who would come to the club. And the teacher said, right, stop, Yame, as it were. David stopped because he followed, strict rule. He was taught well, but this other kid didn't. He did a roundhouse to his head, knocked him over. I think it knocked him out, and it caused like a brain tumor, and he ended up have to have operation after operation on his head. Ended up having part of his head removed. It eventually killed him because they just had problems after that. And he was never kind of himself. He was always in there when I spoke to him, but he was always somebody different. I mean, it's one of these things what it can happen when you do a contact sport, but you don't expect it to happen to you, but it can. Like I said, he had part of his brain taken away, and his skull was a funny shape because they had to operate several times. And he eventually passed away. And he was a really, really good friend. But before he passed away, he did share some of his experiences. He died once in hospital, and he came back. He had a near-death experience, and he told his twin, which is Peter, we've shared that story online before, of what he saw when he was on the other side, and they told him to come back. It's not his time, so he came back, and he was alive for, I think, a few more months, and he passed away sadly after that. So yeah, accidents like that, blows to the head, can create a lot of problems. Gaz saying, one of those things that if you let get you down, it'll drag you down quick. There's people in the world with much greater trials, so you count yourself lucky. Yeah. I often think like that. Lisa wishes her son had that way of thinking. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's really hard. Is it just our brain makeup, says Stella, that allows or doesn't allow us to see spirit? Possibly, or possibly if these spirits are made of certain type of energy, they will resonate at certain frequency, and maybe certain people can see that frequency. I don't know. It's just another theory. It can change your personality. Yeah. It took me a while to come around to that way of thinking, Lisa. When I had first diagnosed with a few months, I couldn't work. But after my divorce, I sort of got your head around it and got back to it. Yeah, good on you, Gaz. Good. Yeah, I mean, sorry to hear that, Mike. No, I mean, it was a few years ago. We did an investigation in a pub in Hull. I don't know if Jack was with me at this time. I was on the live in Ye Old White Hart. Really, really old pub. I can't remember how old it is, but I'm sure Jack can enlighten me on the live. Probably about 700 years old, a really old pub. It was where Guy Fawkes and a few of the others did the gunpowder plot. Was actually upstairs in one of the rooms. We used the PSP7, and we had his voice coming through on the ghost box. And I did record it. I got the footage, but the footage has gone missing. I cannot find the footage. There was people there to witness it, though. I have got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other witnesses, including me, 6, of my friend David, who was passed, speaking to us through this radio, through this white noise. And just hearing things like that, that brought a little bit of hope to me. But it also made me keep investigating. I know a lot of people don't like using ghost boxes, but if you use a good one with a lot of good white noise. Guys, I hope that happens for him since he has the medicine. It's a little better, says Lisa. Yeah. I honestly think it's a lot of wanting to see spirits and being open to it, Gaz. Yeah. You'll find that you may witness something or hear something, when you're not expecting it. I mean, to kind of see or hear things like that, you've got to get yourself involved where you are in a haunted location or an alleged haunted location, so you can try that and document it. See, we document everything. We record it on sound recorder as well, because frequencies, what some of these EVPs come at, you can hear it. It's either too high or too low. Oh, Jackson, yeah, it was 16th century and before. Rachel said it was 1550 it was built. Right, okay, Rachel. Yeah, so we investigated the Eel White Hat in Hull's Old Town about 11 times. We had some brilliant experiences, and it's a shame. A lot of the footage, what I did have, was on tape. And unfortunately, one of my ex-partners decided to trash the tapes when we kind of broke up. So it's in there now. You think spirits can erase tapes? Says Stella. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. Possibly. I mean, if you're talking like the old tape deck, because obviously it was done with magnetic, wasn't it? Magnetic tape. And I think to kind of destroy a tape, you'd have to introduce heat to destroy the magnetic tape. Funny thing is, though, Stella, I once went to Pendle Hill in Lancashire, and I took lots of photographs of one of the farms that was featured on TV. I won't say the extremely bad paranormal show, what was on first before any others, because they are bad. But it was one of those farms on Pendle Hill, and it was next to the Black Bull farm. And I went, and the actual farm was empty because it was being done out to be sold on as a property. So I just went around the property. I didn't go in. I just photographed the building, the windows, and I'll probably put them up in a video. And I captured a face in the window, and it was just white, a white face. It looked like a female. Excuse me. After about 7 days, that image just vanished. It went out of the photograph. I cannot explain that. I don't know how that happened. Mike, he said, there's a really good book called Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton, who was a psychologist and was a complete skeptic until he started working with NDE survivors. What he discovered was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot about near-death experiences, especially from my friend and other people. I know a lot of people will try and explain that as the brain closing down. When you see the white light in the tunnel, possibly. But yeah, I'll have to get some more stuff and put it in a video about that because it is interesting. It would be cool to think that our energy or soul, whatever you want to call it, when it leaves the body at death, went into a kind of another existence, into this universal energy, and just was there, wouldn't it? All right, I'm just reading out what Gaz put to Mike. I was stabbed when I was 17, had an NDE, floated above. You were stabbed when you were 17, had an NDE, floated above my own body, watching everyone working on me. It was wild. Wow. I mean, in a bad way, but I do like hearing these stories. Hello, Mr. Rough Dog. How are you doing? Mike said it's quite common. You saw no tunnel. Was you just floating above the body, looking down as you was on the operating table, and then you was suddenly waking up in the recovery room? Is that what happened, or did you kind of float off anywhere, or did you see anything else? Panaka, how are you doing? Stella saw that tunnel in a dream. A lot of people do see a tunnel. Some people obviously don't. Some people actually see like a black mass, and they say they just got this evil feeling from it. I've heard that quite a lot. What did you do at Pendle, Mark? That's That's the witch place, isn't it? The Nutter family, Mr. Rough Dog. Yes. I went to Pendle Hill, obviously, because it was very popular in the 90s because it was featured on a certain TV show. So I had to go and check it out. It certainly is about the Nutter family. The surname Nutter is like Alice Nutter, Elizabeth. There was a few of them. And I think the church is called All Saints Church. Somebody might correct me on that. It was a few years ago. And the church and the graveyard is actually on Pendle Hill. And I've actually got the photographs of that as well. I'm going to have to put this into a video so you guys can see these photographs. Photograph the gravestone. It's got a curse on it. Yeah, I camped out, but the closest I could get camped out to Pendle Hill was 5 miles away because you're not allowed to camp. You can't put your tent on it. So there was this farm, I think it was called the Guineas Farm or Gannies or something like that. And they were charging me like £9 a night just to put a tent up, which was cheap. So I camped out up, I think it was 2 nights. I camped there, left my tent there, but I was in my car. So I was with my partner. We drove during the day to Pendle Hill, walked around. It's a really lovely place, by the way. If you ever get the chance, go. I was on the graves, on the actual Nutter family, you know, the witch's grave doing EVPs. I think I've got one left, what I managed to salvage, which is on this channel somewhere. I got an EVP of, I think it was Elizabeth talking to me, the spirit of Elizabeth. Yeah, just looking around, I was curious. It was, like I said, it was a nice place. We was actually going to hire the Pendle Inn and invite people to go, but obviously it's a fair bit of money just to lay out straight away. But it's something we are thinking about. Akarika, what we're chatting about tonight, we were talking about things what people had asked me to research from the last live, and I think we're just at the minute talking about Pendle Hill in the UK, which is a famous site of the witch trials, or where the witches were gathering and they were captured. And I believe they were taken to, what's the name of the castle, Jack? Close by. Can't remember. Jack will know. And were locked up there. Nutter, Demdike, the Chattox device. Yeah, Jack, that's the names. Can always rely on Jack for stuff like this. He's when it comes to things like this, he's a genius. Oh, I'm missing some of these. Gaz's experience when he was stabbed when he was 17. He was stabbed in the chin, the shoulder, and on top of the arm. Shoulder was worse, ½ inch above my lung. Whoa. You're really lucky to survive that, as you know. But you had that out-of-body experience. I was at home waiting for the ambulance, was sat in the chair in the kitchen, suddenly felt like passing out and threw my body back. As the head whipped back, I was suddenly floating above myself. Wow. Obviously, blood loss, a lot of blood loss. What an experience. A bad experience, but a good one in one respect, if you know what I mean, because not many people experience that. Oh, sorry, I'm just catching up. Yes, due to blood. I swallowed. Next thing I knew, my head whipped forward and I threw up blood everywhere. Right. Yeah, it was probably that. What brought you back round? In the book, says Mike, he documents thousands of cases of people describing a life between life and existing with a soul group who incarnate together over the eons. Right. Yeah, so NDEs, near-death experiences. We've had one off Gaz. My friend who's now passed had one, or a couple, I think. Gaz didn't see anything else or go anywhere other than the scene in the kitchen. Right. The Nutter family still live in the Pendle area. Okay. I did actually walk around that little graveyard, and there's a lot of gravestones with the surname Nutter. But you're saying it was 5 minutes. It was unconscious, Gaz. Right. New church, Jack. Jack, I knew you'd know that. Yeah. I should know that because I've been. But I can rely on Jack to know these sort of things. Stella is saying, I stayed in a holiday home in Wales. The feeling I got there, I couldn't stay in the bedroom, was the evil feeling got horrendous. It made me cry. Yeah, I've had that in a few properties that I've owned. I had to sell one. It was awful. I saw all sorts. That's another story. I won't go into that. But I know what you mean. The energy in some properties is just too heavy. It's too bad. Hey, Akira. Akariku. Elizabeth and the old Demdike, yes. We would be considered witches. Yes, by some maybe. Lancaster Castle. That's the one, Jack. I've actually visited that a few times. Went inside it. That is where, is it Demdike died in Lancaster Castle? They're locked, obviously they got locked up in the cells in there. She was a really old, frail woman. It convinced me there's something in the afterlife, Gaz. Yes, yes. I'd like to think so. This is why we're here, isn't it? We're trying to prove it, trying to document it. Mr. Rough Dog is saying, didn't the child give evidence in the witch trial saying her mother had a familiar, a cat-type animal? You know what? I've got the books to it in the loft, but I'm not going to climb up there now. It sounds familiar what you're saying. It certainly does. And I know that they was doing some excavation kind of archaeology work in that area on one of the old cottages, and they found was it a mummified cat in the brickwork, and there was also finds in like bottles full of nails and hair and things, witch bottles. These are either supposed to stop evil getting you, or is it to send something out, something like that? Stella saying, my son said he astral travelled on the morning it happened. I woke up to find him not breathing. I shook him. Thankfully, he started breathing. Oh, wow. It's a good job he was there. All these experiences. Akariku is saying, I'm a hospice nurse and I see this happen to clients almost every day. It's extremely common, especially when you've had an NDE. Yeah, you probably do see quite a lot in there. You've probably got a lot of stories you can tell as well. Gaz is saying, I've been researching how to astral travel, no such luck yet. I've actually been taking part. Funny enough, I've been taking part in all kinds of experiments, and I have actually taken part in astral traveling. It's not as easy as you think. When I had the experiences, sometimes it didn't work. Other times I would go to bed, and you kind of just leave your body, and I could see myself, just laid on the bed, and I'd kind of float off through the roof of the house and over the town. And I was kind of waving my arms about like this. I couldn't control what I was doing. And I crash into the floor. And then I kind of come back really quick. It is said, I don't know how true this is, that there's supposed to be some kind of very thin thread, what you can see. I never saw it. And if this thread is cut, then you leave your body, you're dead. Don't know how true that is. That's just something I heard. Panaka is saying, I've been to places where I never have been before, but knew where to go as if I'd been there before. Right. Wow. Yeah, Lisa's saying you must see a lot of Carrie. Jack's uncle Alex is mate It's he's a Nutter. He's related to Alice Nutter. Right. I think I can make sense of that. Okay. It's a small world. Still is saying, I must sound potty, but I promise you every story is true. No, I believe what you're saying. This is the place to talk about it. This is what we're all here for, to talk and share experiences. And when you do start talking about it, as stupid as you think you sound, you'll find out that a lot of other people have had similar experiences. Akariku's had so many, it's what made me get into the paranormal. Parasolo, hello, how are you? Guys, I got to the point where I can calm my body enough to not feel anything, but then I tend to fall asleep. Right, yeah, get too relaxed. Did I feel a pop when I left my body? Me, no. It just kind of happened. What is astral traveling? It's where it's supposed to be your kind of, not your soul, but like maybe your spirit or your mind leaving your body. And you can look down and see your body laid there and you're floating above it and you can float off to places. There's a lot of research into astral traveling because people have gone to places and explained what a certain place looks like, or somewhere in a room and explained what this room looks like, come back, and obviously they've explained it and everybody's wrote it down and they was right. So there is something there. Kind of like an out of body experience. Yeah. Not so much a near death experience, but an out of body experience. Yes. Yeah. Gaz is saying he stopped worrying about what people think. Don't worry about what people think. This is the place to talk about these type of things. We are a paranormal channel. Not everybody believes the same thing, but we've all got experiences, and this is a place to share it where we can all discuss it. Jack is saying an invincible cord or invisible. Is it like meditation? Yes, apparently you can do it through meditation. Every time I've done it, I've just kind of gone to bed and I thought I was dreaming, but I wasn't, because I could see the room and partner next to me floating above and seeing the street. You can be in two places at once, literally. Stella, yes. Makes you wonder about hallucinogens. You can get the same experiences from them, Mr. Roughdog. Yes. Is that what meth does? I don't know. Taz, hello, how are you doing? Wow, some interesting stories tonight. It is fascinating, Akariku, definitely. That's the thread that attaches to your body and soul. Yeah, Jack, that's what I heard. Have I actually tried to do it? Gaz, it's hard to explain that one. I've kind of gone into trance and tried to, as I've been holding objects, to do psychometry, and I have seen places. I think that may be different, but when it happened to me, it was just accidental. I was just going to bed. This is it possibly because when you go into that sleep mode, your brain goes into a different kind of frequency. You go into that is it beta state? Is it alpha? I can't remember which. Into before you get into REM sleep. Documented places, people being in two places at once. Yeah, definitely. And isn't it? It is interesting, isn't it? All these things, what people are saying. Hello, Sarah. How are you? So we're here this evening and we're all sharing experiences. We're talking about NDEs, which are near-death experiences, OBEs, out-of-body experiences, and other things. Please feel free to share if you've experienced that. Have I heard of crisis apparitions? Yes, I have. I've also, Stella, I've also heard stories about people getting phone calls um, just as something's happened to a loved one. Not necessarily death, but although that has happened, but as there being like a traumatic accident, they get a phone call and it's off this person, and when they answer it, there's nothing there. I've heard some strange things actually. I've never personally seen a crisis apparition. Yeah, oh yeah, Rachel's reminding us. Rachel, the moderator, please hit the like button, guys. Don't know where the like button is. It looks different when you're doing a laugh. The screen's different. What is a crisis apparition? If there's like going to be a death or there's going to be trouble, or somebody's being injured, you know, things like that. That person, they're not necessarily dead yet. Show themselves in like spirit form to somebody else. Jack said, I was in a bed once. I saw flashing white lights above me and I couldn't move or speak. Then I saw a shadow figure go next to me afterwards. I was right back to normal. This was ages ago. Yeah, it sounds like sleep paralysis, Jack. I haven't had it recently, but I suffered hell of a lot with sleep paralysis. I think we spoke about sleep paralysis before. You hit the like on the way in. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Sarah and Akariku. I'm still wondering how it can be that I know where to go in Rome and Nepal, and in my hometown I have to look at a map. Isn't it strange that? Yeah. I mean, I've been to a few places where I think I'm sure I've been here before, and I actually haven't. Gadso's sister at the entrance of the hospital, she died. She died in 5 minutes after she died. Wow. Yeah. I'd like to think that when people have these experiences, that is your loved ones coming to you to let you know that that's happened. Obviously, you're being one of related, one of the closest to your sister. Strange, isn't it? Do I have deja vu? I used to. Yeah, I am quite old, believe it or not. I have experienced quite a few things. Deja vu, quite often. There's a lot of theories about deja vu, isn't there? Gas, and it could be because I wanted to see you, so I did. Yes, yeah, definitely. Do I believe in reincarnation? That's a tough one again. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I'm kind of on the fence. I have seen a lot of documentaries with regards to reincarnation. What's that saying? Ads will shortly run for some viewers. Yeah, watch the ads, guys. Watch the ads. Where mainly in children, where children have said they've lived another life, and they explain in detail something what they couldn't possibly know, and they haven't seen it on the TV or being read any kind of story. And this is started with from a very young age, from children being able to talk at about around about 3 years old, going into the teens. It has been documented. I found that really interesting, but it's very hard, isn't it? One of the theories I like to go by with reincarnation is it's ancestry genes. It's passed down in the DNA, and therefore, so memories can be passed down in the DNA. I know that's quite a statement, but that is just one of my theories. You pass certain things down. It comes from your ancestors to you, to your kids, and so on. Is it possible that these memories are somehow getting stored in DNA? I don't know how, but somehow, and that's being passed down. That could be another theory. I ain't saying it's the theory for all of these things, but just one theory for something like that. Gaz is saying, I always have deja vu, but then again, my brain is broken. Bless you. Maybe it's, Sarah saying, maybe Akariku, it's because of a past life that Roman Nepal or Naples, wherever you're coming from. Intuition, is that supernatural? I don't think that's supernatural, no. Premonition or intuition. I think if you're intuitive, that's a gift in itself. I think that's more physical rather than a ghost telling you. Years ago, I woke up at 5:45 a.m. for no reason, wide awake. Then about 6 a.m., I got a phone call from the hospital saying my grandfather died. So it does make me wonder. Yeah, definitely, Mr. Rough Dog. It sounds like there's something there, isn't it? We're all coming up with these experiences. We can't all be wrong. My brother, this is Ben. Ben is saying, my brother works in a building which used to be barracks on World War II airfield, has experienced strange things. Oh, cool, Ben. Which airfield is that? Is that in the UK? I mean, we visited a few RAF bases and investigated them. I was just wondering. Genetic memory. Yes, something like that. Akariku. Why are chimps in captivity scared of snakes when I have never seen them? Is it genetic memory? Could be an explanation for it. Or maybe they just, because they've never seen it before, they just straight away assume it's danger because it's making a strange noise and it's coming at them. Genetic memories. Yeah, genetic memory is one of my theories as well for these type of things. Is it passed down in the genes? That reminds me of my son. Said he was his great grandfather who fought in the First World War. He was only about 5. Wow. You should document things like that, Stella. That's good. Past life ancestral memories. Yeah, Jack. Home on Spalding Moor, Ben. I haven't actually been to that one, no. I've been to Driffield and I can't remember the name of the other one. It's near Lincoln. I'm just having to put my phone down because I'm starting to bang it. I have to have something in my hands when I'm doing this. Ben, is that an abandoned airfield or airbase, or is it still active? I'm just asking in case you may be able to get us on for an investigation. Mike is just starting to study hypnosis, wanted to work in the field of regression. I totally believe in reincarnation. I would love to try and document it. Do it, Mike. If it's something you're interested in, just do it. It's either going to work or it's not, but do it anyway. I've actually I should video this. We keep saying we're going to do this on somebody. I've been involved in regression as well. I can regress people. I don't use hypnotism though. I use meditation. Um, doesn't work on everybody. Out of 12 people that I did, I think it worked on about half of them. Stella's son, my son said some pretty strange things. Yeah, yeah, it is worth documenting all these things when we're all having these experiences with our kids, and our kids are talking to us about these um, possible past lives and things. There's a theory that it's inbuilt for humans slash apes to be scared of snakes because of our evolution when we were small mammals millions of years ago. They were a real threat. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely still a threat now. It's that, what do we call it? Fight or flight. Without even knowing it, your brain reacts, and it's either one of those. You're either going to stay and fight or you're going to run. What is regression? It's where we would try and get you in a relaxed state of meditation and try to regress you to a former life that you had. And that's it. And then we'd carry on with you while he was going and telling us things. We'd be taking notes, and then we'd bring you back from that memory or regression memory or whatever it is, and talk about it. Sarah saying, I read a book years ago about past lives, and basically the theory was if you're drawn or interested in certain area in history, it's because you lived in that period. Yeah, I mean, it certainly is a theory. It's good theory. Okay, Ben. Ben saying it's an industrial estate now, but a lot of the buildings are there. He's a guard on the gate in the evening. Okay, is it accessible for a team of investigators? Um, if you're interested in that stuff, Ben. If I don't ask, we don't get, do we? Because I don't think that's far from where we are, home on Spalding Moor. Spiders, definitely. Yeah, I don't like spiders. There's not many insects I do like. I think the worst insect for me is a wasp. I don't like wasps. I try not to kill any of them, but wasps, you know. When we've got spiders in the house, in winter, some of them are massive, like my hand, as big as my hand, because all summer they're being eating bugs, and then they decide to come out in winter looking for more food. I'll catch them in a glass with an envelope of paper underneath it, and I'll throw them outside. I've thrown them out the top window before from the bathroom upstairs, and I've heard it hit the floor and run back in. But Tina goes mad at me. She says, "Splat it with your shoe." No, I said, I'm not killing it. I don't kill things like that. I just get them out the house. There are times when you see things out the corner of your eye, and you doubt it in your peripheral vision. Yeah, we get a lot of that when we're investigating in our peripheral vision. We see things, and then when you look, it's gone. Mark, do you remember in either the 70s or 80s, there were lots of people coming forward saying there were Cathars in a past life were killed during Inquisition? I don't remember that, no. I was born in 73, and in the 80s, I was kind of still very young and being a bit foolish with my friends. I don't actually remember that, but is this a whole group of people saying that? That's interesting. I'll have to see if I can find anything out about that. I'm going to write this down. in 70s or 80s. I'll have a look at that. Panaka. Maybe I lived in Rome and Nepal's in the past life. Who knows? But it feels like coming home when I go to Rome. Or, yeah. I always save spiders. Yeah, Sarah, I don't like to keep them in the house because I don't like crawly things, but I'll put them outside. I don't kill them. I don't hit them with a shoe. Gaz tries to take them out unless the cat finds them. Yeah, our cat, when I've thrown them out, our cat has actually caught one before. Why do we always get that feeling that someone is chasing you down the stairs? All right, I don't get that. I've not had that. Is that a common thing? Is it where people feel that they're being followed or chased down the staircase? Oh, Ben, about the airwave base, is saying it would be interesting, but I have no idea if it may be possible. I don't know how many people there other than my brother, and he might take it the wrong way. If I mentioned it, it gave him the creeps. All right, okay, yeah, don't worry about it. If if it ever comes up in conversation again, just have a word. Quite a few people started coming forward. It was in the tabloids that picked it up. No, they were am I saying this right? Cathar heretics that died in southern France or northern Spain. Right. Sarah's saying a lot of people get that sensation. Wow. I'm like that, not on the stairs, in the bedroom. I don't know how anybody else is, but I'm a bit weird where I cannot have the bed in a certain position in the bedroom. I have to be able to see the door. And this is one of these ancestral things, what's in our DNA, I think, going back to when we lived in caves, we were cavemen, and we were worried about wild animals coming in. So we always had to face the entrance to the door, sorry, the cave. And this is why I think I'm like, is anybody else like that? The bed has to be a certain position so you can see the door. Or is that just me being weird? Oh, Mr. Rough Dog saying the people that coming forward with these memories were British, right? That is weird. Oh, I've just missed what that said. Sorry, I'll just go back up. Hi, Shandy. How are you doing? So I didn't see you come in then, Shandy. Shandy is one of our members. She has the blue star. Check it out. So is Rachel, the moderator. When I go to let my dog out at night, then I go back upstairs. I always feel someone is going to chase after you. That is strange, isn't it? That is weird. Panaka is the same. Yeah, I have to see the door too. Just me being weird, says Sarah. No, it's not me being weird. I have to see the door. I really do have to know where the door is. So if that door opens, I've got a visual on it. Lisa's felt the chasing thing on the stairs going on as well. Wow. People are having these experiences and you don't realize until you mention it, like on a chat like this, that it is fairly common. Sarah G, the same, me too, and the door has to be shut. Yeah, I'm the same. This goes back to what was we talking about? Ancestral kind of genes, memories, not memories as such, but genes, where that is passed down through the bloodline. Stella won't sleep near the door. Her husband has to. Ben said, I will. His first-hand experiences was in the workshop. There was a row of 4 windows, a roller door, so someone walked past the window but not the door. Wow, that is a good experience, Ben. Not for your brother, but for somebody like us. Gaz has to have the door shut next to him, the windows blocked out, earplugs in, need total darkness and silence to sleep. So we'd be buggered. Oh, Mike. Welcome, Mike, as a VIP member. Everybody, welcome, Mike. Yeah, thank you, Mike. I do appreciate that. We have got some cool videos coming up for members, the VIP members who join the channel of the Annabelle Project. That is going to be exclusive. Stella doesn't like the house. It scares her. Shandy's saying, I used to think a hand would come through the banister, but only for when you're going upstairs. That is strange. That is weird. Lisa, I run, which isn't easy now since I'm old. I think a few of us are quite old on this chat. Mike said, oh, might as well get it. I'm always here. Oh, no, we do appreciate it. It's good for the analytics of the channel as well, for the algorithm. Mr. Rough Dog, always pull up the duvet if you hear a creaky noise in the night. Nothing stops a chainsaw like a bit of synthetic fibre. Yeah, we've always said that. If there's a mad axe murderer breaking into your house, you're safe if you're under the duvet. Duvets are axe proof. Shandy's saying too many films, probably. Lisa, Mark, you're not that old. I am. I feel like it. I think it's because as I'm getting older, I'm getting all these health kind of issues, and you feel a bit older than you are. 56 isn't old. Oh, Sarah F., you was born in 73. Excellent. Same age as me. What month? I was September 27th. So I'm a Libra. If anybody is interested in stars and things. If 56 is older than I'm ancient. Gaz, born in 70. So you're all round about the same age. September 15th. Are you a Virgo, Sarah? Oh, Shandy was born in 73. Welcome to the 73 Club. If we lived in Stella's house, we would hide under the duvet. Stella, you need to start capturing this paranormal activity on camera. You need to share it with the Parapals, which is us lot. Akarika was born in 92. Oh, you're only a baby. Shandy was February. Virgo, Sarah, yes. One of my ex-partners, Sarah, her birthday was round about that same date, and she was a Virgo. Same age. Mr. Rough Dog's 41. Yeah, Akarika, you are a baby. Panaka was born in 58. Mike is 42. Jack is a Capricorn. He was born in 92. Jack's a baby as well. Wacka Wacky Paranormal. Hey, coming in to say hello and let you know you got my support. I actually wanted to tell you something about REM pods. The colourful twins have actually used thin metal rod to set it off. All right. Well, is there a video of that? We'll have to have a look. Interesting. Yeah, I don't rate the paranormal twins. I know what you're talking about. Twin paranormal. That's it. I've not actually. I don't think I've debunked twin paranormal yet. I was looking at it and I was trying not to do the same debunks as like Bedo or Mr. Grey and Parple and all that lot. I don't. If they've done it, I'll try and do a different video to what they've done. And hello to all these wonderful people. Wacky Wacky Paranormal. Ben was born in April 75. We are all roughly round about the same age, apart from the two babies, which is Jack and Akariku. Akariku's a Pisces. Yeah, fish. Panaka is August. Stella is the fire sign Aries. Taz was born in May. Akariku's 31 going on 80. Wacky Wacky has got an awesome paranormal channel. I'm going to write your name down, Wacky Wacky, because I don't want to cut the live off. And if I haven't subscribed, which I probably have, Wacky Wacky Paranormal. Wacka. It's Wacka. Yeah, okay, I said that wrong. Just writing this down. I wish I'd heard of you when my son was little. It could have helped. Yeah, I mean, if anybody needs help with the kids going through anything, what we've spoke about tonight, that's what we're here for. This is what these live chats are about. The ones on a Wednesday, it's where we all catch up and talk about our experiences and things. And we all learn off each other and obviously share them experiences. I feel it after a day on the dementia ward, says Zakariku. Taz, 1958. Kathy had to fill out a form for a pension this week. You're entitled to your pension. You get it. Is Babsy here? I didn't see Babsy come in. Babsy, are you here? Rachel. No, you're not. Rachel is kind of one of the babies of the channel. I forgot your age, Rachel. I do apologise. Is it about 32? Yeah, definitely. What I was just what Gaz has said. Then hats off to you, Akariku. Hard work, known a few with dementia in the family. Greg, do you think the Warrens were kind of fraudulent? I'd have to see all the files and things to say that. I know Ed especially did kind of think there was a lot of demons and things. Was it demons? Not necessarily. I do think that some of the movies, although the movies are good, they haven't done any favors. Oh, Babs isn't in here. Okay. Hi, Mr. Spookfest. Panaka, it's your bedtime. Good night. Sleep well. Have a good week. We'll see you on Sunday. I used to follow a fellow called Don Phillips Paranormal. Have I heard of him? No. But I'll make a note. I do. If people suggest channels, I do look at them. Don Phillips. Don Phillips Paranormal. Which I was 32. Oh, you're 37, Rachel. Sorry. I did think 37 at first, but I didn't want to insult you if I was wrong. Good night, Panaka. Greg is asking, do I think Annabelle was made up? If not the real Annabelle story, I do know the real Annabelle story, and there certainly is a lot going on. And like I said, the films and the paranormal shows don't really help by kind of amplifying that whole demonic thing. Hey, Mr. Sorry. Hey, SR Spookfest. Wacky Paranormal. No problem. I'm sure everybody will subscribe to you. No, never feel like that. You feel your videos are... Everybody's videos are worth watching. We've had this YouTube channel for about 12 years. I think it's why we've got so many videos on it, and the views are fairly low because we never used to do anything with it. It was just sat there. It's only over this last 6 months, really, that we've been putting videos up. 6 months to a year. Libra, Wacky Paranormal is a Libra, born 30th of September, 1990. Does that make you a Libra as well? Everybody subscribe to Waka. Is it debunking you do? I didn't realise. Well, let's have a look. Yeah, everybody subscribe to Wacky Paranormal. Check out the videos and give it the thumbs up. Stella made her husband throw out a doll, a clown doll. It gave her the creeps. I hate clowns. That is one of my phobias, is clowns. Clowns and puppets. I hate them. I can manage ghosts and demons all day long. Not dolls, especially clowns. I think there's a name for that, like a phobia, when you don't like clowns. Greg said, well, it had been stolen from a Twilight Zone episode, the Annabelle doll. Is it? I know the Warren Museum was closed down. And is it Tony Spera? I'm saying that surname correctly. He's still, he's got all the artifacts in storage, and they are actually looking for another place to reopen the Warren Museum. Wow, we've been going nearly an hour and a half. So I hope you're all going to be on Sunday. We are doing the PSI method, which is an ongoing experiment which helps us trigger our ESP. And this helps us to link in with something else. Fear of clowns is called coulrophobia. Is that, am I pronouncing that? Coulrophobia, yeah. Bio. I was at one time. I was going to buy loads of clowns, you know, puppets of clowns, and just hang them in the bedroom, just to try and get over that kind of phobia. But I don't like them. I do not like clowns. It is. It's the first one on the Ghost Hunt and More playlist. Lisa likes watching the experiments. Yeah, a lot of people like the experiments. It basically is what you get. It's where we've used the red strobe light, flash it in the eyes, but we have a protective mask on. But when I do it, I have my eyes open. Everybody else closes their eyes when they do the experiment, and we play white noise into the ears using sound cancelling headphones. And these headphones are what they use in what pilots use in aircraft, so you can't hear anything outside of them, only the white noise. And we basically kind of go do that for up to 30 minutes. And because we've closed off those senses and we're flooding the front lobe with that red strobe, we start having these experiences. You just don't understand how clowns are considered funny. I've never laughed at a clown. No, I haven't. Rachel's got a Pinocchio puppet. I bought one, you know, a really old vintage one, but I got rid of it. Didn't like it. Akariku has got to go. Thank you for joining us, Akariku. It's been a pleasure. Great live, Mark. I always love your lives. I learn so much. No, well, I learn off you guys as well. That's what it's about. Stella said, as a child, there was one mirror I had to have covered as it terrified her. Wow. Wacky paranormal. No problem. We do debunks as well, as you've probably seen, so don't mind sharing the channel, and we'll definitely be coming over, and so will everybody else. Right, guys, look at the time. It is don't know whereabouts in the world you are. It is 10:03 here in the UK. I'm not sure if we're doing a live on Friday. If we do, it will be somewhere spooky, I think. Possibly a graveyard, or where was the other place we was going to go? Could be a church. Not certain, but please keep an eye out on Friday for us going live. If it is the church, in the church, there's been some. I've been in a church by myself because I've got the keys. Some chairs being dragged ahead. The chairs being dragged across the floor. And there's nobody in the building, just me. Head doors slamming. So possibly could be looking at that. If not, it'll be a graveyard somewhere. But I think it may be the church if we do anything on Friday. Oh, SR Spookfest saying, I do ghost hunts a lot. Got good evidence. Have a look, please. Yeah, everybody take a look at, is it SR Spookfest? Subscribe and watch the videos. I'll just write that down as well because I will forget. It's 5:03 there, Lisa. Gaz, yeah, it's flown by. It certainly flies by when we get talking. We'll take a look at SR Spookfest. The scary screams from the woods. Cool. You're in Runcorn in Cheshire. Wacky paranormal. Yeah, good night, Jack. We will catch you guys later on another live, either Friday or Sunday. The experiment will be on Sunday, but if we're out on Friday, it will be either a graveyard or the church, which will be really interesting. If it's the church, we will be concentrating on sound recordings, as well as having the camera visual there. And this was happening to me in the daytime. It was, it doesn't have to be dark for a place to be haunted. Mike Williams, good night. Good night, awesome people. Gaz is from the Midlands. Worcester. I never say that right. Stella's in Manchester. Yeah, of course, looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely. It'll be good. Good night, Kathy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Gaz. Shandy, thank you for joining us. Have I missed anyone? It's been awesome talking to everybody. I can't believe I've been talking for an hour and a half and my throat's not too bad. Kathy, good night. Good night, Lisa. Good night, Ben. Market Wheaton, is that all where you are? We're in Hull. We're not that far from you. You got any haunted places near you, Ben? What we can come and investigate, and you can join us. We're looking into doing Hell's Gate as well, which isn't far from that area. Tantrix, good evening, good night. We're off. Watch it back. There's loads of interesting conversations going on with everybody. Gaz, fun as ever. Yeah, definitely. Stella saying, fabulous. Wish I found you sooner. Likewise, Stella. You're not that brave, Ben, but yes. Right, if you can think of any, Ben, just send us a message. If anybody needs my email address, it's at the top of the chat. Massachusetts is where I grew up. Crazy stuff always going on. SR Spookfest. Wow. I wish you all the best, Gaz. Yes, if you're still here. Good luck for tomorrow. Please leave a like on the way out if you haven't already. Lisa lives in MA, but never heard of it. No worries, Gaz. If you need to talk, you know where the channel is, just talk to us. SR Spookfest, no problem. We'll all be going over and watching your videos. Yeah, everybody, please come on more often. That's what Stella's saying. Am I only 40 miles from you, Sarah, as well? Whereabouts are you, Sarah? You did just say, didn't you? That's how bad my memory is. Is there any haunted locations near you, Sarah, that we can investigate? We're always on the lookout for haunted locations or alleged haunted locations. Just outside Scarborough. I know Scarborough very well. All those white lines you've got on the roads in Scarborough, I did them many years ago. Wacky Paranormal saying, no problem. Spookfest, we're all in this together. We certainly are. It's a good little community. We're all power pals. That bridge in Scarborough, I don't know if you know it. I know you're just outside of Scarborough. It was nicknamed Suicide Bridge. They had to put fencing up because everybody kept jumping off it. You're not that far from where Harold Shipman practiced. Oh, that's interesting. Valley Bridge. That's it. Yeah. You know which one I'm talking about. Anyway, Tantrix is saying, sounds like the Golden Gate Bridge in the US. It's not as magnificent as the Golden Gate Bridge, unfortunately, but we have a bridge called the Humber Bridge, which looks very similar to the Golden Gate, apart from it's grey. We could investigate, the bridge, but yeah, I mean, if you know any other places, Sarah, then that'd be cool. The village of Plutley in Kent. Village of Pluckley. Write this down. Kent. It's called the Bridgewater Triangle. Same in Runcorn. We have the Jubilee Bridge. The Queen opened in '64, and everyone was jumping off it. They had to hire up the fences. Crazy sad stuff. Yeah. Bridges seem to attract a lot of people that, unfortunately feeling that way out, but there's always somebody to talk to. So if anybody else starts feeling that way, just, don't do anything stupid. If you've got to, come and talk to PSI. Right, I'm going to shoot off. I'm at work early in the morning. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll see you again through the week. Some more videos coming as well. Just keep watching the channel. They will be up over the next couple of days. If I don't see you, I was going to say something, but I won't say it. Laters, yeah. Take care. Wonderful. Yeah, excellent. Wacky paranormal. Pocket woman. Thank you. See you around, guys. Thank you, Taz. Sweet dreams, everyone.